Hi, I'm Greg Hunter. Welcome to USAWatchdog.com. With us, Jim Rogers. He is the author of Street Smart's Adventures on the Road and in the Markets. You're a legendary investor, Mr. Rogers, and there's been a lot going on in the markets. Let's start with the gold market and the big takedown that you were predicting. You said that you've been talking about $1,200, $1,300 an ounce. What do you think's going on with the market?
Well, Greg, I'm delighted you remember that you noticed. Yes, gold was, I own gold, by the way. Gold was up 12 years in a row without a down year, which is extremely unusual. I don't know of any asset in history that has done that. There may be some. I just don't know about them. Plus, gold only had 130% correction in 12 years. Now, there's something wrong there. Gold was too hot, too strong, too many believers. So now it's having a correction, which I consider a normal correction. I hope it continues till we can shake out a lot of the people who shouldn't be in the gold market in the first place. And once we shake out the weak hands, then gold will make a bottom and resume its bull market. I don't know what level that is. You know, whether it's 40% or 50% or 60%. I have no idea. Maybe it's already happened. But this is normal. This is not unusual. I welcome it. I expect gold to go much, much, much higher over the decade, but it will not and cannot until it starts having normal corrections.
Where do you think it's going to ultimately end up? 7,000, 8,000?
You know, if the U.S. dollar becomes confetti, any number you want to make up. They're printing U.S. dollars fast enough to turn them into confetti. Who knows how high gold will go as long as we have madmen running the central bank.
Well, reports are coming in from around the world, in Asia, India, the U.S., tons of extreme buying in the gold market. You can see it in India. You can see it in Asia. Earlier, this week or last week, it was, this week, it was a record day for gold eagles. 63,000 gold eagles were sold at the U.S. Mint. What do you make of this, what looks like panic selling turned into panic physical buying?
Well, some people want to take advantage of the drop and see it as a bargain. I don't know if it's a bargain or not. We'll know in 10 years, 5 years. We'll know down the road. I'm not so sure there was that much extra in India. This is the wedding season in India, and they're buying gold anyway at this time of the year. I don't know if they were buying extra gold. But I read the same thing you did, that many gold shops are having increased business now. So, terrific. But whether this is the bottom or not, I don't know. I guess we should watch USA Watchdog to find out.
Well, they're saying that even silver supplies are getting hit even harder. APMEX told one viewer of mine, actually Greg Manarino, who's been on the site as a trader, he says, hey, their supplies are down 50%. Other shops say they're out. They don't have any. And commissions are rising. What does that tell you? Is that just some froth or some overexcitement, or is that a real, demand situation and not panic buying?
Well, if people are buying, it's demand. There's no question about that. Buying is buying. Buying is demand. I don't know what's happening in shops. I have not spoken to any shops or been to any shops, so I have no idea. But obviously, when prices go down, some people like to have a bargain and take advantage of a sale.
You know, the partying with the stock market has been going on, and I think I know how you feel about this. And it was reflected in a recent interview in a recent book, that has come out by David Stockman. And he says, hey, listen, without all this, $85 billion a month bond buying in treasuries and mortgage-backed securities, the market will turn into chaos in, 6 weeks. Some people say 6 minutes. But this is David Stockman, the former White House budget director. And everybody seems to be like, what? Like they're in disbelief on the financial channels. What say you?
Well, I'm surprised at that because, if you take $85 billion a month out of the market, that's going to have an effect. There's no question that this is all artificial, extremely artificial. For the first time in recorded history, you have all major central banks and governments printing money. The Japanese said, we will print unlimited, that was their word, amounts of money. So Mr. Bernanke said, well, wait a minute, I can do that. So he said, I'll do $85 billion a month. I'll do $1 trillion a year. And then the English said, well, wait, we can do it too. So you got all these guys, they were already printing too much money. Now they're printing even more. So these are, in my view, these are perilous times. This cannot go on forever, or the money, if it does go on forever, the money will become confetti. So it's not going to go on forever. One way or the other, this is going to end badly.
I want to wrap up with one last thing. You have been in the investment world, and you're wealthy from it, so you're good at it. You have consistently, over decade after decade after decade, made money, made calls. You were in, you were out. Have you ever, in your investing career, seen this type of market where you've got all these countries printing money? We have phony accounting by FASB. We have William Black, the professor of economics and the professor of law and former bank regulator, says, we have felons sitting atop of the largest financial institutions in the world. Have you ever seen this in your investing career?
No, I said before, I have never in recorded history have you had every government and every central bank, every major government and central bank, printing money at the same time. You have never had every government debasing their currency at the same time. Yes, history is full of countries, individual countries that debase their currency or that printed money. This is the first time in recorded history where you have most of them doing it all together. So when I said the first time in recorded history, yes, Greg, it's the first time I've seen it too.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to close with one last question about the agricultural sector. My mother has a farm in Missouri, and I go home and people are driving new cars. They got new equipment. The economy seems pretty good there. And your theme has been agriculture is the place to be. You're going to be, if you're in agriculture, you're going to be rich. Anything changing there, or is that intensifying?
No, I don't see anything changing at all. Many farmers still are not prospering. Some are, many are, as you point out. But many parts of the world, it hasn't sunk in yet or gotten that far. It will. No, we may have, I don't know, if we have a huge bumper crop this year around the world, then it may cause people to react and say, oh, maybe it's not going to keep going. But every time that people say, oh, it's not going to keep going, that makes it more bullish, because then you have less capital, less labor, less management attracted to agriculture. And the problem is we don't have enough labor, management, and capital. The average age of farmers in America is 58. In Japan, it's 66. In Canada, it's the oldest in recorded history. I mean, I could go on and on. More people in America study public relations than study agriculture. So the old ones are dying and retiring. The young ones are studying something else. So no, agriculture is going to be an extremely exciting place to be worldwide for 2 or 3 more decades.
Jim Rogers, thank you very much for joining us on USA Watchdog. And again, you were author of Street Smart's Adventure on the Road and in the Markets. And boy, we have some adventures coming up. Thank you for being on USA Watchdog.
Thank you, Greg. My pleasure. Let's do it again sometime.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.